Well, Avatar released its long-awaited sequel. I think it's been like 11 years.
Yeah, 11 years to get a movie that's a little bit better than the original.
Come on. We're talking about Avatar, my favorite movie series on this episode of the Finding Good podcast with Kevin and Milton.
Well, this is the Finding Good podcast. That's Kevin. I'm Milton. Two guys who love to watch movies and dive a little bit deeper into some of the themes that, we could learn something from.
Yeah.
So follow us by, hitting that like, subscribe, smash that bell so you know when new episodes come out. We're a new podcast looking for more listeners, more viewers. Join us.
So here's the deal, Milton. When we did Avatar, the original, it was like a couple months ago.
That episode.
Yeah, that episode. Mm-hmm. It's like one of our most highest viewed episodes of all time.
And this one will be a little bit more higher viewed than that one.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because it's an amazing movie that everybody loves, but you and producer Grady, and I don't know what's wrong with you two.
Well, listen, I'll admit, the first Avatar was great. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad, but, what I thought about it was this story's been done 100,000 times,
Sure.
And it was with blue people. So, okay, cool.
So different.
Yeah, and you did put me in my place with the element that they were seeking,
That's right,
which we found out was a real thing. Okay?
It's a real thing.
So it's okay. It's okay. I'm still humbled and thinking about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this one I thought was a little bit deeper as far as the thematics. The story was more interesting.
Yeah.
But the IMAX 3D experience of this movie is one of the best I've seen. I mean, it might be the best I've seen. It was fantastic visually.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is 3 hours long.
Don't drink too much Diet Pepsi on this one because
it's like 3 hours 17 minutes long. It just
Sheesh.
keeps going. The middle part is just a giant exploration of the ocean.
Right.
It really doesn't do anything. I mean, there's not a lot of plot. In fact, when we sat down to prep for this episode, which we do, kind of.
Believe it or not.
we kind of came up with a little bit like, wait, what is this movie about?
Right.
What are the themes? What are we talking about? And
we can only say I see you so many times.
That's right. Yeah.
Point made, thanks.
But the entire middle part of this episode, or the entire middle part of this movie is really just this exploration. And the second or third viewing, I probably would cut it out almost.
Okay.
The first part was great. The last part was incredible.
The action. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But the whole part with we're discovering whales and learning to swim, and it was like, okay. But I know why they did it, because they're showing off all this new technology.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. If you watch any of the behind the scenes, just like there's this one that still sticks in my mind. It's Sigourney Weaver is underwater, actually underwater. She's got this motion capture mask over her face, acting the scene out. Yeah. And then they do the side by side of her like making the face motions, and then it turning into, well, there's her character right there, and James Cameron, my goodness, like this guy, he's more than a director, he's an engineer.
Oh, he's reinventing the movie business over and over and over again.
So we got to give him his props.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the first movie to do underwater motion capture.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy. But you ever go to like the Discovery Center or like science centers and you go explore all the things, and then you watch the movie in the theater, and then you're like, well, I could have gone without that.
I'm not sure
it's like that wasn't that great. Like that's how I felt with the middle part of this movie. It's just to throw it out. Just throw it out.
Man,
I know I'm dogging Avatar. Like I never thought I would do this.
You've grown a lot. Like you're so mature now.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
You've really helped me.
That's what I do.
So we want to talk about this concept of how we react to stressful situations. Right?
Not well? How about that?
Just over.
Episode over? Not well.
I mean, the stressful situation, I think when like star people are coming down to your planet and tyrannically trying to murder your entire family, that's kind of that's a stressful.
I would say so.
Situation.
I've never been in that situation, but I can imagine it would be very stressful.
Very stressful. That's what they're facing.
Right.
And so just this idea, to put it out there right from the top, we're going to be talking about these 3 different reactions that we have to stressful situations.
Okay.
And we see these represented pretty well in the film. They are fight.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
They are flight.
Heard of that one too.
And they are freeze.
Freeze.
So,
okay.
three F words on how we deal with stress.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
So
I'm stressed right now.
Fight, flight, or freeze. So let's talk about this first one. Fight. You like this one.
I do.
I've done enough episodes.
I'm
that
naturally
I know you like.
Yeah, I'm naturally a fighter. I go in a mode of resistance into most situations already. Yeah. It gets me in trouble. It makes me a little more aggressive than I need to be. It takes away love out of the situation. So I have to recognize that. I remember the other day I was in a meeting of bosses, right? And there was a situation going on. I can't go into the details. Closed door meeting,
wow,
that kind of stuff. But something was being explained about a situation that I'd had disagreement with.
Okay.
And the person started telling, okay, here's why, or here's what's happening, and I just interrupted. I said, why? Like that was my tone. Like, why? And the person just looked at me and says, I'm explaining. Relax. Right? And I had to sit down and I had to recognize like why, what was the point of that? It was me dealing with, I don't like this, and I got to fight for my right to party, that kind of thing. Yep. And I came off very not me, not like I wanted to.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my fight.
Yeah. Well, I think we all have this. We don't like being told we're wrong, or we're told we're being someone who we don't think we are, being defined, and being critiqued. All these things bring out at least the fight in me.
Right.
Injustice, like I'm not being treated fairly. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, and I do it a little bit. My wife. I can't believe that she puts up with me, but my wife does. Right? My wife calls that. I mean, she defines it as me bulldozing over her.
Oh.
Of just, and I do. I will absolutely admit this. I have a way of just, this is how it's going to go, and I'm in a bulldozer. And you remember, I mean, we're reviewing Avatar, but you remember in the first one when they're in that giant bulldozer and they're plowing through the forest.
And knocking trees down.
Yeah, and they stop because there's a little blue guy that's waving, and he just goes, well, just keep going, they'll move.
Right.
Remember that? And he reaches down and he just kind of presses the joystick forward. That's me emotionally in a lot of situations.
Wow.
Like, everybody's going to get out of my way. I don't really care what's going to happen here. I'm pushing this thing forward. That's fight.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of another situation where I think I handled it correctly, and I'm just now realizing why. Okay, let me tell the story first, and then I'll come to the conclusion of it. So I was at church, and we were having our monthly lunch that we serve at our church, and I was there with my wife eating, and a couple came and sat at the table with us, and basically were criticizing an aspect of our church.
Okay.
An aspect of our church.
In your home, at your dinner table.
Right there. Yeah. You're right. And that initial, I wanted to, well, wait a second.
You're on the defensive.
Yeah, I wanted to be defensive. I wanted to fight back. But I didn't hurry. I just listened.
Yeah.
And I just allowed the words to come to me, and I breathed. And when the complaints were done, I didn't immediately go into that. I said, how can I show, my thinking was, as I was going slow, that's the key. I was going slow. If I would go fast, I know what the immediate reaction would be. So I was going slow. I said, how can I do this so that these people feel heard and respected, and I can still say what I think the solution to this issue is. And my wife even, later on, as we were driving home, my wife even said,
"Who are you and what have you done with my husband?"
She said, "Wow, how you handled that, I wouldn't have done that."
There you go. So don't fist bump for that situation and teach me your Zen ways.
Well, but I even surprised myself.
Yeah.
But I guess it was slow down the moment. Don't let it get beyond and make you feel like this is getting away from me. I got to say what I got to say now. No, there's no hurry.
Yeah.
We can chill, we can relax, we can talk. And I think that was the key.
That's good. No, that's really good. So, I mean, we obviously saw a lot of fight in Avatar.
Oh boy, a lot of it. The last hour of the movie is just all fighting.
But it did come after it did come after a couple of these other responses that we have a lot. And the second one is flight.
Yeah.
Which is really just fleeing. You can call it fleeing. You can call it escaping, numbing out. Ignoring the problem, just going completely the opposite way from solution. And I think what you just expressed is a great option for any kind of stress, is just to wait and be patient and breathe and allow a timely response. I think that's pretty good. But that initial reaction, like your initial reaction was to fight.
Yes.
Another initial reaction is to flight, to flee.
Got to run away. And I would say there are times where that's appropriate. I'm not saying it's wrong to flee. As an example, my wife and I, we approach disagreements 100% differently. 100%. You can imagine what it is. As I'm a fighter,
right.
I want to engage. Let's get to the solution. Why wait? We're here. Let's do it. That's me. Mm-hmm. She is, I need space. I need time. I need to think. I need to reflect. I need to talk to God, all that stuff. And I'm just like, why do we need God? We're right here. Like, let's do this thing right now. Yeah. And her way's better, actually, I think, because her way gives us time to really dig deep into why we're feeling the way we're feeling. Why do we want to say the things we want to say? What is the foundation of those things, and to really come back in a moment and be a little more mature about the conversation. In the moment, I can't be mature. I want to say everything I want to say. I want to say it as mean as I can say it. And what I counsel couples to do, who I do premarital counseling with, is when you get into the situation, the way the person who wants to flee can help the person that doesn't. Because this is it. You say, I need my time, but let's have the discussion on this day at this time. So it's an appointment.
Okay.
Make the appointment, because then that person at least knows, okay, I can't do it now, but we're gonna do it. Yep. It's there. It's on the calendar. Put it in your iCalendar if you have to. Let the beep come up and remind you, like, oh, we're if you want to put fighting, discussing, whatever. But it helps that person to at least feel like, okay, we're not ignoring this thing because I want to handle it. We're gonna get to it.
I've actually learned to do this in my relationship with my wife. We call it an adult timeout.
Oh, interesting.
Like we need an adult timeout.
Do you like sit in the corner on a chair with like a dunce cap on?
I probably should.
With crayons and tissues.
Yeah. No.
I'm in the corner.
We do try to say, okay, we're going to come back to this and we'll set a date. If we're operating from health.
True.
If I am operating from unhealth, I've been known to get lost in my own neighborhood on a walk. As I flight, I flee.
Can you like unpack that a little bit? What does that mean? Because this word picture you're creating for me is amazing. I want to go deeper into this world of yours. What's this neighborhood you're talking about?
Well, this is not a. This is me in like the lowest unhealth. Of like I'm literally walking away from the point of pain as far as I can get. and I'm so like internal, and I'm angry, and I'm not quiet. I'm not doing all the things I should be doing, and I've gotten lost in my own neighborhood a couple of times where I literally like snap out of it and look around and go, I don't even know where I'm at.
Gotcha.
Like I don't even know where I'm at. I responded so fast and poorly that I have gone so far off that I don't even know where I'm at. I think of a Bible story here on this, and we recently went through this. The story of Jonah.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you've read Jonah. It's 4 chapters long. Of course, we all know this. Well, we might know the story of Jonah. You might know the story. It's where he gets swallowed up by a big fish, regurgitated, and then goes.
It's actually a whale.
Is it a whale?
Well, I don't know.
No, it's a big,
people say
a giant fish.
I'm only connecting it back to Avatar, the whales.
The whale in Avatar, yes. But God asked him to go to Nineveh, and say, go preach to my people. Nineveh was like this horrible city. I mean, it was just depraved by all ends.
Right.
And Jonah's response was to literally go the opposite direction into the middle of the ocean as far as his maps would take them, to his mind and their knowledge, the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
That's where he went. like God said, go this way, and Jonah literally went as far as he could this way.
Yeah.
That is a flight response. And I've experienced that. It's weird.
To the point where, I'm very curious about this. Okay. To the point where you're not even cognizant of what's around you. You're so locked into your brain and where your brain is that your kids could talk to you, your wife could talk to you, you could be sitting, the TV could be on, and you wouldn't get anything. Music could be playing. You're just completely blocked off to all the sensors, and you're just there in that world.
You're just there.
Wow.
And it can be a physical flight. It can be a mental flight.
Sure.
I mean, I think I know I've talked to a lot of people who just feel stuck in their situation, and all they can think about is going, but they can't go. Maybe you're stuck in a job, and you're like, all I can think of all day long is to just get away from here, but I got to pay a bill. And so that's being mentally stuck, but you're constantly fleeing, you're constantly leaving instead of staying rooted where you're at and working in more health to solve the problems that continually come into your space.
Is that the freeze part that you're talking about, or is that something different?
Similar, yeah.
Okay.
The freeze is more of like no emotion. I'm not going to handle this. I'm going to sweep it under the rug. We're good. Yeah. There's no decision making. So now, fight is very much a physical response. Flight can very much be a physical response. Freeze is almost like I can't move.
Yes.
Like I am so in fear of what this means. We saw it a little bit in this movie when Jake and Nateri were, Jake and Nateri were like getting understood of their situation for the first time. Our family is being hunted.
Yeah.
And Jake was like, we got to get out of here, and we got to go right now. He was fleeing, and she was like, well, this is my home. Like this is our home. We can't go anywhere. And just totally wrapped in this freeze mentality of I can't make a decision.
Where I experience that the most is when I have so much to decide, so much to do, that I get frozen.
Yes.
In knowing, what do I do first?
Right.
What's the first of the 25 decisions that I need to make? Because I have to do something.
What do you usually choose when you're in that moment, when the list is so big and overwhelming? What do you usually choose?
I'm not really good at this, honestly.
I'll tell you what I do.
Okay, tell me what you do, and I'll tell you what I do.
I watch TV.
Well, that's.
I don't do anything.
Don't do that.
I don't do anything on the list, and I just numb out with mindless entertainment.
Yeah, I have done that. Sometimes I'll just write everything down as I remember it, and then I'll just start at the top. And I'll just do the first thing. And if I can get into a move of getting 2 or 3 things done, then the momentum starts building a little bit. I heard a great thing on a podcast once, which said, anything you can do in less than 5 minutes, you can do right now.
Wow. Okay.
So if it's responding to an email, like, and I have so many emails.
You've got a few for me.
Goodness.
Like if you could really just respond to that. I know the one I'm waiting on.
Yeah. So if it's responding, I know I can knock that out in 2 minutes.
Sure.
Like the reason I haven't is because that's one of 15 emails.
Yeah.
But that's one I can do. Okay. So get that one done and get it off the list. And it feels so good. Like, yeah, I feel like I've won the Super Bowl. Like I just responded to this one email to Grady, our producer Grady, who is such a great person.
Wow. Barely.
No, we love Grady. Yes. But yeah, like stuff like that. So if I can get it done quick, or the one that I'm dreading the most, maybe do that one first, so that I could just get it out of the way. And
what's shocking about this is usually, at least maybe you can relate to this experience. You avoid a big task. Yeah. That in your mind, you've made it absolutely bigger than what it is. True. And then you do it, and it's like takes you 20 minutes.
Right.
You're like, why did I not do this for 4 months? Like, this was so easy.
Oh, so much pain now talking about this.
So, and there really is nothing more gratifying than checking things off a list, like to just done.
Are you the kind of person that you have your to-do list, right?
Yes.
And you're lining them out as you're getting them done, and then you do something that wasn't on the list. You will write it on the list and cross it out. Are you that guy?
Like, not only that, but I do that frequently.
Oh boy.
And I'll make subtasks. I'll finish the list.
Lines underlined.
And then I'll make subtasks for a task that I already did, and then I'll cross those off too. That's called being efficient with your time.
No, that's called having a mental disorder.
No, I look at my list. I did more than you.
Oh, boy. Wow. It's a competition now. Okay. The other thing that I'll do is, if there's something I know I have to do, but I really don't want to do it right now. I just don't want to do it. And I know it's not urgent. Like, it's something I know I have to do, but I don't have to do it right this second. I'll schedule a time either later in the day or the next day. I'll actually put it in my calendar, like, do this thing. Like, as an example, our boss here, Brian, he's great at like finding these really interesting, like TED Talks or videos that are related to our industry, making podcasts or radio or those kinds of things. And they have really good ideas in them and inspirational things. And sometimes he'll send 2 or 3, at a time. And it's like, and I'm thinking, oh no, another thing to read or another thing to look at, but it's good. Yeah. And I know I don't want to not do it, but I just don't want to do it right now. So I'll actually put in my calendar, like the next day, read Brian email on podcast.
Wow. That's really good.
And I give myself like an hour to do it. So I can go down, I can grab my cup of coffee, sit in front of my computer, and it takes me 10 minutes. And now I just created 45 minutes of just like, I can relax. I can play Wordle or whatever, or pick up a task that I put later on the day and get it done in the morning. So it helps me accelerate my day a little bit better. Yeah. So that's just one thing I do.
I think those are all really good tips. I think, here's the deal. We don't want to park in these things. No. And you're giving some great, you're inspiring me to just be better. Like, don't, like,
be better, Kevin.
That's what Milton, just be better. That's Milton's tagline. You spend a couple minutes with him and they're just games.
I'm going to make one and it's going to have an arrow pointing at you. Be better.
Be better. That's awesome. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is, yes, these are initial responses that are kind of poor and unhealthy, but we don't have to live there.
No.
They aren't our only choices. But they certainly come very naturally in all these situations.
Yeah, and always treating ourselves with mercy, with grace, to say like, okay, I don't got all this figured out. I'm 51 years old and I'm still,
getting lost in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm still doing that kind of stuff. So, but realizing that I'm on a path, I'm on a journey to improve myself.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who are doing that as well and encourage each other. You and I do that with each other, and just give yourself a break. Yep. It's okay. It's okay if you get frozen for a bit. It's not the end of the world. You can get unfrozen. Find the help you need. Learn the tasks, the skills to help you get there, and it's fine. You're still awesome. You're still an awesome person.
Absolutely, and do better.
Be better. Be more like Milton.
All right, that's the episode. Well, we don't want you to freeze in actually sharing and liking and subscribing to this episode. So please do that. You can comment. We'd love to read your comments. We'd love for you to share. Ring that bell so you get notified of new episodes. We do have more movies coming.
Yep.
And more conversations to be had. So we'll see you next time on the Finding Good podcast.